I'm Michael Perlin. I'm here with my colleague Rambabu to talk to you about what we have discussed in our very small group, just the two of us, building on the presentation that I gave this morning at the Human Dignity Humiliation Studies Conference on Therapeutic Jurisprudence. I talked about that way of life, area of law, in the context of seclusion and restraint in mental hospitals. And for the last half hour, 45 minutes, we have been talking about therapeutic jurisprudence in an entirely different context. And I have to tell you how excited I am, because this was entirely new for me. I owe this all to Rambabu for bringing this up. And it gives us, and I'm saying this directly to David Yamada in the first row there, we have all sorts of new initiatives, all sorts of new things to do that when you and I had dinner last night, we didn't know about. It's up on this chart. I should tell you first that I used to get unsatisfactories in produces neat and careful work. When I was in 7th grade once, my parents went for teacher's night and I'd gotten all A's, and I was the only all A students whose work was not on the board. And my mother said, why? I said, it was so messy, it embarrassed us. So that was me. So I've tried very, very hard here. Maybe I'm better than I was in 7th grade, but you know, those of you in the audience who are 7th grade teachers can tell me that. What we have done, I should take no credit for this at all, is the idea of expanding therapeutic jurisprudence, which I've been working on for 25 years, to a new area, both a new area of policy and a new area of geography, and that is India. And we talked about problems and issues in India and how therapeutic jurisprudence might be a palliative, might be a way of looking at these problems through an entirely different lens with a very, very different filter. Rambabu talked to me about corruption, about the way that money influences corruptly elections, and how this is all related to religious differences among the people in India, how there are rampant violations of human rights being reflected, and how this corruption has also influenced the judiciary. So those are kind of, the main points. We also talk specifically about what's known as the Holy Cow Law, which prohibited the eating of beef, which is fine for some of the people in the nation, but not fine at all for other people in the nation. And what we decided and kind of concluded, and this was not brain surgery, these policies do not comport with therapeutic jurisprudence at all. People are denied a voice. Many of the people in India have really no say in how they are governed, and things are really not done voluntarily. The policies are anti-therapeutic. There is no question. Carol Gilligan famously used the phrase ethic of care many years ago, and we have stolen that for therapeutic jurisprudence to say the law and the legal operations should also reflect an ethic of care. And it's pretty clear to me that that is not being done there. So the first step in all of this is that Rambabu is going to work with us on the board of directors of the International Society of Therapeutic Jurisprudence. 40% of us are in the audience today, me and David Yamada, to finalize the creation of an India interest group. We have interest groups now from Japan, from Israel, from the UK, from Ibo-America, from Australia, New Zealand. We don't have one from India. And another Indian colleague here came up to me during the break and said he would Natachita, I'm not doing that well at all. Was that sort of close, Natachita, your pronunciation? Okay, right. Okay. My friend in the background, about joining us on that, and that would give us an interest group in a very, very major country. And also, I talked to Rambabu about writing a scholarly article that would take what we talked about in that half an hour, 45 minutes, and bringing it to the world. So, what better, this has been wonderful, and it's very funny. We're the only two. Now look at some of the other groups that had 12, 18 people, and 2 people, it can be a blessing, right? And so we've come up with this, and we are very excited about it, and I just feel really elated.
It's a great message, J. Michael, and thank you so very much for making me as a member of your group, Therapeutic Jurisprudence, and I'm very happy to join that group.
Thank you.
I'm going to contribute something for your group.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful. I am thrilled. Thank you. That's a wrap, Annie?
That's a wrap.
Okay.
Congratulations.